Again, we have so many things to talk about in our lives that it was thinking them again. So I thought, why not talk about that one thing which has shaped my life, provided me with a plethora of memories and an experience I love to talk about with people. And I decided on speaking about my life as an Air Force brat. So my father has been working for the Air Force since the time he was 18. At the same age as mine, he was training on the ground, running kilometers every day, and was living an extremely disciplined life. And here I am. For me, waking up at 7:30, exactly 30 minutes before the lecture, is obviously something to be proud of. So I was born in Bihar and I moved to a place called Uttarakhand in Rajasthan. Now, I was a really small kid back then, so I don't remember anything apart from peacocks and sand. My earliest distinct memories are of a place called Pune. I started my schooling in Pune and met so many kids for the first time. The campus life was a whole new experience for me. A lot more space to run around, seeing the men in blue collectively going to the offices at 7 in the morning. But it still wasn't very different, right? So the difference came when we shifted to another city because my dad got his transfer. It was for the first time that I saw such a large scale change in my life. I saw packing, I changed my school, and lost my friends somewhat. I went to Delhi and stayed there for another 5 years. I learned so many things there. I developed as a person, made new friends again, and yes, friendship is kind of an emotional and sensitive topic for us because we are always shifting in 5 or 4 or 2 or even 1 year. So we keep losing track of our besties. I have had so many amazing friends who I had to leave. Now we keep setting up our houses every few years, and my house is filled with airport banners, posters and medals, calendars and mugs, caps, and even cups. Now some people assume that we live near the hangar, we see planes taking off and landing, and all of our parents fly planes. Well, it's not exactly like that because we do see planes hovering our heads, we hear the choppers stop in the air, but we don't really have a close contact with the planes very often. Also, Airforce deals with a variety of work and it has a lot of work to be done in the work. And flying actually constitutes a minimal percentage of the workforce. So I would see my dad decorating his uniform with medals, doing everything he could to give it that glow, like you would take care of a bride. My dad has very, very strict rules when it comes to polished shoes. There is just one thing which he was taught during his training, and he would say it aloud every time he polished his shoes. Your shoes should have that much shine that you can see your face in it. And he followed it to the T. So after Delhi, I moved to Sinharsi, which is a very emotionally travel location in Jharkhand. We had to pack all our stuff again, and I had to leave my friends again. But it was definitely one of the most beautiful things ever happened to me. I saw plants, insects, snakes, and cultures I had never had. I saw the tribal culture you see on your screens on Discovery National Geographic. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm still grateful that I got to live there because a lot of people who live in the cities haven't seen that life. Now, there is a saying among us, the Brats, that BRAT, Brat, stands for born, raised, and transferred. So I shifted again to my hometown for around a year, and after that, I again shifted to Prayagraj. So we defense grads have an endless list of schools. I have been to 7 schools, and some have even been to 8 schools as well. Now, when people ask us, like, which school did you go to? We smile a bit and we reply that it's complicated, you won't understand. After Prayagraj, I went to Hyderabad, where I completed my 12th. So my schooling life has almost been like a cycle, like transferred, adjusted, befriended, and the second phase. A lot of people think that we are treated like cadets in a house. We wake up at 5, go jog outside even in the cold, and our upbringing is kind of school. Well, it's not really the case. We do need a somewhat more disciplined life, but we are spoiled elsewhere. And our parents don't really treat us like cadets. So sometimes when I look back at my life, I feel so grateful for all the things that I have experienced as an airport guy, which is something special and a lot of people haven't experienced. Sure, it has a lot of disadvantages. Like you have to lose your friends, you have to pack your stuff every other year. But the perks actually outweigh them by a lot. Like, I went on tours to so many places, and I like to tell this to people and make them, you know, they get envious when I tell them about my trip, like all of the places I've been to. And even though we have a sweet rivalry among all our forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, I mean, I get very, very angry when somebody calls me an Army brat because I'm an Air Force brat. But we defense kids still click with each other real fast. So it is a kind of experience you will always cherish, and I would never trade that for anything in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmi, for your speech. I'm sure it was difficult for you moving around so frequently, but it seems that you have gained a lot of experiences firsthand, which many of us won't in our lives. So I think we all feel like we know a little better now. Thank you.